Well, Washington has been buzzing with the news for several days that Nancy Pelosi could be about to become the first House Speaker in a quarter of a century to visit the island of Taiwan. Throughout the day on Monday here in Washington, D.C., there have been reports coming from unnamed US officials who said Taipei is now part of her schedule. But publicly, there was no official confirmation, especially from the White House, where National Security Council spokesman John Kirby briefed reporters on the issue. He said he would not comment or even speculate on the House Speaker's travel plans. And he said it was up to her to make her own decisions about whether to go ahead with the trip. But he made it clear that trip or no trip, it doesn't change the Biden administration's position on the One China policy or the fact that it does not support Taiwan independence from Beijing. But officials in Beijing have already warned against the trip. Kirby, though, said an increase in rhetoric and threats was not justified.
Put simply, there is no reason for Beijing to turn a potential visit consistent with long-standing U.S. policy into some sort of crisis or conflict, or use it as a pretext to increase aggressive military activity in or around the Taiwan Strait. And yet, over the weekend, even before Speaker Pelosi arrived in the region, China conducted a live-fire exercise. China appears to be positioning itself to potentially take further steps in the coming days and perhaps over longer time horizons.
President Joe Biden has not definitively said Pelosi shouldn't go, at least not publicly, although last month he did say that the US military didn't think a trip at a time when US-China relations are at historic lows was a good idea. The fear is that by stepping onto the island of Taiwan, Nancy Pelosi will only worsen already frayed relations and potentially precipitate a dire response from Beijing, who warned on Monday that its military would not sit idly by. Nick Harper, SABC News, Washington.